Hey everyone, Coach Dave March here. As you probably know, career coach, helping people along the career journey, helping them make that career transition that they're looking to make in their position, likely because they've been in a role for 5, 10, 15, 20 plus years, and they either had enough, they made it clear to their boss that they want to make a change, and they don't see anything going on. They feel underpaid, overworked, burnt out, and now they're looking to make that change, go on that career journey. So what I want to share today is a parable from the Lotus Sutra. This right here, Lotus Sutra. It's called the Parable of the Phantom City, and it really speaks to the journey one can make. Of course, this is Buddhism, so this is talking about the journey to reach enlightenment in Buddhism, but the idea of the parable of the Phantom City could be used in many different journeys in life. And so first I want to go into a contemporary example, which you probably have heard of or have at least watched the movie. The movie is called Percy Jackson and the Lightning Thief. It's a really great movie. And in this, Percy Jackson is on this long journey, and he, about 50% of the way, goes into this journey, and he is kind of going through the one section of the journey where he is in a casino. And this casino has everything that they would ever want. It has all these treasures and all these great fun things. It's in the latest Percy Jackson series on Disney Plus. It was also in the one before that one, The Lightning Thief. And essentially he goes into this casino, and there's all these like fun things to do, and they really enjoy going there because it gives them comfort and gives them pleasure from this whole long journey that they had. In the actual movie, they eat these lotus flowers, and that kind of what keeps them staying there. And of course, I have no idea what the director was thinking when he was making this, but it's very interesting to me that this story from the Percy Jackson Lightning Thief really relates well to the story from the Lotus Sutra, which is the parable of the Phantom City. So so I'm going to go into the parable of the Phantom City now from the text, and we'll kind of go through that. This is the chapter 7. So, in the parable of the Phantom City, of course, there's a lot of great stuff. We have Shakyamuni. Shakyamuni is what's called Siddhartha Gautama, the same historical Buddha that is mentioned in all kind of different history classes. If you take any contemporary religions of the world class, you'll probably hear about Siddhartha Gautama. We call them Shakyamuni in here. They also call him the Thus Come One. And throughout this chapter, we have a lot of really interesting stuff. One of them is the Four Noble Truths, which is a really consistent thing in all Buddhism. We also have something called the 12-link causation, which is also very an interesting piece in Buddhism. But what we are really focused on here today is the parable of the Phantom City. And so, the Buddha speaks this out, and this is the way he says it, right? So, let us suppose there is a stretch of bad road, 500 yojanas long, steep, and difficult. So, yojanas is the definition of yojanas is how far the royal army can go in one day. So it's a measurement of distance. So I'll read it again. Let us suppose there is a stretch of bad road, 500 yojanas long, steep, and difficult. This bad road is wild, has wild beasts, and is deserted. It's like a barren wasteland. There's no inhabitants around. It's a truly fearful place. And suppose there are a number of people who want to pass over this road so they can reach a place where there are rare treasures. They have a leader that has bright wisdom and keen understanding, who is thoroughly acquainted with this steep road. He knows the layout of its passes. He is prepared to guide the group of people and go with them over this difficult terrain. The group he is leading, after going part way on the road, become disheartened and say to the leader, "We are utterly exhausted and fearful as well. We cannot go any further. Since there is such a long distance ahead, we would like now to turn around and go back." The leader, a man of many expedient means, which is essentially a thing that leads into something else. It's expedient means kind of to make things more expedient. And expedient is like faster. But also it has many different meanings, but essentially it is something that leads into something else. It's not the main thing. It's an expedient means to get somewhere else. So this leader, a man of many expedients, thinks to himself, what a pity that they should abandon the many rare treasures they are seeking and want to turn around and go back. Having had this thought, he resorts to the power of expedient means, and when they have gone 300 yojanas along the steep road, conjures up a phantom city. So about halfway, again, like I was saying before, it's kind of the halfway mark in this long journey. So they've gone halfway, 300 yojanas along the steep road, and conjures up a phantom city. He says to the group, "Don't be afraid. You must not turn back. For now, here is a great city where you can stop, rest, and do just as you please. If you enter this city, you will be completely at ease and tranquil. Then later, if you feel you can go on to a place where the treasure is, you can leave the city." So again, this is kind of the idea where it's like in Percy Jackson Lightning Thief, there's this like amazing casinos, all these fun pleasures. There's men, there's women, there's everything that you could want, so you could feel comfortable, you could feel rested. And of course, the issue is that you stay there for too long, right? So it's kind of a dual issue here, right? Because he conjured up this phantom city because they were scared and fearful and they didn't want to move any further. So this leader had to conjure up this phantom city so that they could feel rested and feel safe and can keep going along this road, right? Because it's a 500 yojanas long. We could say feet if to make sense to you, but essentially a yojana again is the distance that the royal army can go in one day. So it's not 500 feet, more like 500 miles. But again, I digress. Then later, if you feel you can go on to the place where the treasure is, you can leave the city. At that time, the members of the group, being utterly exhausted or overjoyed in mind, exclaiming over such an unprecedented event, now we can escape from this dreadful road and find ease and tranquility. The people in the group thereupon press forward and enter the city, where, feeling that they have been saved from their difficulties, they have a sense of complete ease and tranquility. At that time, the leader, knowing that the people have become rested and are no longer fearful or worried, wipes out the phantom city and says to the group, "You must go now. The place where the treasure is close by. The great city of a while ago was mere phantom, and I only conjured up so that you could rest." And then he goes to speak to the monks in the great assembly, as this is a Buddhist text. "Monks, the thus come one is in a similar position. He is now acting as a great leader for you. He knows that the bad road of birth and death and earthly desires is steep, difficult, long, and far-stretching, but that it must be traveled. It must be passed over. If living beings hear only of the one Buddha vehicle, then they will not want to see the Buddha and will not want to draw near him, but will immediately think to themselves, the Buddha's road to enlightenment is long and far-stretching, and one must labor diligently and undergo difficulties over a long period before one can ever attain success." So, the Buddha knows that the minds of living beings are timid, weakly, and lowly, and so, using the power of expedient means, he preaches two nirvanas in order to provide a resting place along the road. If living beings choose to remain in these two stages, then the thus come one will say to them, "You have not yet understood what is to be done. The stage where you have chosen to remain is close to the Buddhism, but you should observe and ponder further. This nirvana that you have attained is not the true one. It is simply that the thus come one, using the power of expedient means, has taken the one Buddha vehicle and made distinctions, and has preached it as three. The Buddha is like the leader who, in order to provide place to rest, conjured up a great city, and then, when he knew that the travelers were rested, said to them, the place where the treasure is nearby. The city is not real. It is merely something I conjured up." So, that's the story of the parable city. I think that it's a great story, and it really illustrates the idea of people that get 50% into their journey, and this could be for people that have done the resume writing with me, getting resume writing done, still not there yet, 50% done. They haven't gotten all the way there, and now we're kind of going into what I do, which is the email marketing pieces, which is really sending out an automated email sequence so that we can get the attention of those people that are looking for skilled people such as yourself, and get you to the next level, get you the next position. In today's day and age, what I see a lot more is, this ML and AI coming out, and there's also a lot of things revolving around like identity verification, and so like even with like Twitter, you have a little check mark now. You pay for the check mark. It's almost like crazy because They created this industry now of authenticity. We have to pay now to be verified, because there's so many bots and so many AI, so many things going like that. And the real reason why we do the email marketing blasts is because what we want to do is actually build relationships with people. Or this is like actually networking and building relationships with people, because at the end of the day, that's the most authentic thing to do. It's to actually have a human relationship with another human being, and you really get to know you, and then they could make a recommendation so that you could work at the company. I think that's going to be the real big piece. So if this video was of benefit to you, and if you found value in it, please share it. And yeah, if you have any comments, please add to the comment section, and I can create more from the Lotus Sutra, or from different works that are out there. Thanks. Have a great day.